Welcome to the Fantasmagorium show. On today's show, Alan Grant, Ellie Sadler, and Ian effing Malcolm return in CinemaCon footage for Jurassic World Dominion. Benedict Cumberbatch and Kirsten Dunst head into the American West from the writer-director of The Piano, and Ethan Hunk breaks bad guy rule for the next Blumhouse thriller. I am smitten by Ethan Hawke. Let's go.
And we are live.
Hey, Steve, I just rewatched Gattaca. What's up?
Hey, sure did. Yeah, handsome Hawke back in the pictures.
Yes, very happy.
Yeah, and apparently scaring the bejesus out of people, or creeping them out at least. Mm-hmm. We'll get to that when we get to the news. How was your day, Scott?
Oh, pretty good. Pretty good. Like I said, watched Gattaca, saw this awesome interview with a director of a documentary regarding one of my first VHS experiences.
Wow. Yeah.
Did you see that? Did you see that interview that happened?
I happened to catch it.
I didn't. You were there?
Oh yeah, I was actually there. That's right.
Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't see you there.
Yeah. No, of course not. You were focused on Ernie, and you should have been, because his documentary looks like it's going to be awesome. One thing that I wanted to do, we didn't do it, and I apologize to Ernie for this, was show his trailer. So we're going to show the trailer now, and hopefully he won't be too upset with me.
Oh, come on. We're this.
You ain't heard nothing yet.
I'm so in love.
I love Howard the Duck.
I do truly appreciate the Howard the Duck fans.
I'm glad that there are people who appreciate all the effort that was put into making this movie.
I can't believe you don't have other people saying that. That's unbelievable to me. How could you look at that duck and go, this is acceptable?
There you go. Get a little better shot of it.
You guys struggling? Like, that was probably somebody's first time seeing this.
But why was the condom open?
People remember that scene for a lot of reasons, and it's usually a little bit off color.
It's also barbed, it would poke holes.
Like we're looking for things to make sense in Howard the Duck.
And showed it to George, and he went like, eh.
But this is weird shit happens when I'm around. What the fuck?
Oh boy, quacking soon.
Yeah, and I'll see if I can finagle up a link to the Indiegogo for the show notes.
Yeah, so they were about 50% of their goal, and let's see if we can help them out a little bit. That'd be great. I'd love to see the stock. Obviously, it's coming out. It's just the post production stuff, and kind of went over the some of the hurdles he's got to pay to get the finishing touches on the documentary. But yeah, it's very interesting. It was an interesting rewatch, to tell you the truth, to prepare for the show today. Like I said, it was it's a weird film. It's
Howard the Duck.
Yes,
is weird. Breaking news.
Just a little bit. It's just a weird film, man. It's, there's elements of the movie
in an illicit area,
right? But I don't know, man. There's parts that are amazing and parts that are just like, wow, God, I just saw that. It's weird.
The interesting thing about what Ernie said about the I'm on a first name basis.
Yeah,
never even met. Sorry, my mistake.
Mr. Trinidad.
Talking about the difference between the comics and the movie, and saying talking to the daughter of the creator of Howard the Duck, and I was fascinated by that. Howard the Duck has a sister. But I've been a fan of the comic books. I sort of revisited the comic books after the fact and found the satire. And there's a parallel universe Howard who took the place of Marvel Howard because real Howard had to leave that universe because he wouldn't be subjugated to another universe's whims again, the same way that when he was pulled from Duck World. If I remember my Howard the Duck lore correctly. But and so that the documentary goes into that as well. And so I'm interested in seeing the final product, because when I bought the DVD, I really, I wanted a making of, and the one not adequate.
Yeah. Anyways, let's thank you, Ernie, for coming on the show,
Mr. Trinidad.
Yeah, for coming on Cult Classic Movie Corner, and
and thanks, Terje,
and thanks for it was fun. It was really fun. Anyways, let's get back to our show.
Well, no, but I like both of our shows. Anyway, yes, let's get to it. What do we got? What do we got first? It's not Ethan Hawke.
Before we jump into the news, we do have a little housekeeping that we like to do every day. We say, please subscribe, like, share, hit the little bell, do all those things. Really helps the channel out, helps the channel grow. We say every day we do love subscriptions, but it's the interaction, the likes, the dislikes, the sharing and commenting, especially in the comments below, that really help the channel grow. And we thank you for that. Also, if you'd like to send in a tip with your comment or question, please do so. www.streamelements.com/phantasmagoriumshow/tip. We have a website that you can visit. You find our shows there. You'll also find movie news and a link to our audio-only podcast, so you can take the Fantasmagorium show with you on the road. We'd love to be your traveling companion.
And we also sorry, just to interrupt for the audio podcasts, and Apple Podcast seems to be the one that's catching up to our podcasts on the fly the best. So
yes. Yeah, we do appreciate they're always the best at pulling. So it's I'll just a little behind the scenes here. When you do the podcast like that, it's you what you do is on these platforms you register your RSS feed. So it's a push. It's not a push, it's a pull. They decide when they pull instead of when we push. So if you're not caught up, or your platform of choice isn't caught up, it's just because they have not pulled the shows, but they're there and they should eventually populate.
We also have a shop.
If you do want to pick up some merch, we do have merch. Give yourself a t-shirt or a hoodie, or a mug, as Scotty has. www.phantasmagoriumshow.com/shop. Yeah, everything's a little off today, isn't it?
It is the cleanest mug I have because I've been using it constantly ever since I got it.
It's a good one. It's a good one. Well, Scott, with all that out of the way, let's get to the news.
Absolutely.
So I'm sorry.
No,
off the top, there was it's official. The Old Guard. This is for Old Guard fans. The Old Guard is returning for a sequel that will be directed by Victoria Mahoney. There's no other information that we got. It's just this was a simple social media post that I saw today right before we did the show, and and that's basically all it said. It just had that, and it had a picture from the movie. So that's their way of saying, yes, we're doing another Old Guard movie. So kick ass. I really loved the first one. Can't wait to see the new one. Were you able to see the Old Guard, Scott?
No, I haven't yet visited the Old Guard.
You should.
It's
good.
I know.
For Netflix, their original movies are kind of hit and miss. Not like their series are usually really good, but for their movies, they're kind of hit and miss. This is actually one of the better ones. So if you get a chance, check it out.
Well, and if it's getting a sequel, I'll check it out before the sequel arrives.
Next up, Universal CinemaCon presentation made stars out of struggling movie theater employees.
On Wednesday, Universal presented some 75 minutes of footage from upcoming films, including Halloween Kills, Jurassic World Dominion, Sing 2, The Black Phone, Jennifer Lopez's Marry Me, and more. Remote crews were dispatched to film celebrity introductions for the convention, but added a thoughtful touch. Words from the staffers of resurgent movie houses. Once again facing crisis as the COVID-19 Delta variant threatens theaters. Jamie Lee Curtis hyped up her latest battle with Michael Myers, but before CinemaCon goers were treated to a trailer, she tossed to the manager of the Magic Lantern Cinema in Ketchum, Ohio. He expressed his grief over the theater's closure and his excitement to welcome the public back for Halloween Kills. Matthew McConaughey shouted at his favorite staffer at Austin's Alamo Drafthouse. Ethan Hawke introduced the crowd to Aaron Baseman, a worker at New Jersey's Princeton Garden Theater and an aspiring filmmaker. Lopez underscored the value of original storytelling for her pop star romance Marry Me, then deferred to a front of house member of the Bronx's Concourse Plaza multiplex named Leon. 86-year-old Catherine Lawrence of the AMC Village Theaters in Manhattan was spotlighted by Jake Gyllenhaal.
Now, just to kind of put a little context on that, she has worked at the AMC Village Theater in Manhattan for 30 years. And she said the reason that she still works there is she says, because I get to see a brand new movie every week.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. That's a heartbreaker, right? That's awesome. Well,
it's amazing. It reminds me of the ticket taker in Last Action Hero. It's just like, I just want to work. I want to be in show business, so I work at a movie theater.
Yeah. So I thought that was cool. I heard about that yesterday, and I'm like, oh, man, that's awesome.
Absolutely. And it's nice of them to shout out the people who have been arguably affected hardest.
Right. Especially to a crowd that at a convention for movie theater owners. That's it's perfect.
It's also just blatant advertising.
Well, yeah, but kudos to Universal for even thinking of doing it.
Agreed.
I'm surprised nobody else has done that, actually. But it may in the year coming out of the year 2020 that we just had, when movie theaters just really took a shellacking. It was very very nice of them and thoughtful and touching in a way to put them front and center in that way, introducing these cool movies trailers. And speaking of movie trailers and that Universal thing, we have two stories. Handsome Hawke, Ethan Hawke, horror film The Black Phone, poised as next Blumhouse smash, traumatizes CinemaCon.
Finally, something scarier than, oh my God, do they have to keep saying this?
Every day.
All right, so finally something scarier than the COVID-19 Delta variant has come out of CinemaCon 2021. Moving on.
Okay.
Universal Pictures unveiled a package trailer for its upcoming Blumhouse horror thriller, The Black Phone, on Wednesday during a presentation to the annual convention of movie theater owners in Las Vegas. Reuniting Ethan Hawke with his sinister writer-director Scott Derrickson, the project is adapted from a short story by Joe Hill. Hawke delivers a bone-chilling performance as an unnamed villain, a character he said breaks with his no bad guys rule while introducing the clip. The Black Phone follows an abducted boy locked in a basement that's stained with the blood of half a dozen of the other murdered children. Right. In the cellar with him is an antique telephone, long since disconnected, but which rings at night with calls from the dead. According to a synopsis of the short. So we're already having fun, and I have to agree with the tagline to that article. Yeah, no, that sounds terrifyingly amazing.
It does sound amazing, and I'm here for it.
Yeah.
You got Scott Derrickson, you got Ethan Hawke, in his very first villain role. So he has this rule in his career, no bad guys. But he told the audience, but when Scott and Jason called, meaning Scott Derrickson and Jason Blum, when they call and ask me to be the villain, and then told me, the synopsis for the film and what was going to happen, he signed on, and I think it's awesome. From what I've heard, everybody said he looks amazing as the bad guy in this film, as the villain. So definitely be looking. It's got CinemaCon buzzing yesterday about this Black Phone movie.
Well, and as we've been discussing in terms of the shift in what you're doing with your movie making, Jason Blum has, and I'm not the first to say this, has a brilliant business model in terms of making low budget movies, releasing them, getting quality. Like he could be, no, I don't want to go that far because I know someone in the chat is going to be like, you're an idiot. But like, I was going to compare him to Roger Corman, but Blumhouse actually makes good movies.
Yeah.
Not that Roger Corman made bad movies, but you know what I'm saying.
He made a particular type of movie.
Yeah, exactly. Those were the ones that you churned out. But Blumhouse it's more about a cost-effective, however you feel about the movies, it is a money-making venture. And the same with M. Night. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, no, this is one of those things that I can get behind.
He may be that Blumhouse may be the master at that. I don't know of anybody else. If my knowledge has holes, please, correct me in the comments. But I do think that they might be the master at taking, a very low budget, $5, $6, $10 million and turning it into, 90 million, 100 million, 70 million, whatever, what have you. I don't know of any other filmmakers or a production house that's actually doing that or has done it as well.
Dude, I know you've been doing shows all day, but can I talk about the state of cinema currently?
Sure.
All right. So remember when horror movies were really bad in the 80s and you went and saw them because they were punk rock, but everybody, like all the biggest movies were comedies. Sure, you'd have some tent poles, but most of the movies that you remember from the 80s, they're comedies, right?
Or romance, romance. Things.
So there are action and comedy and whatnot. But those movies nowadays have become bland because of the nature of filmmaking, how they want to message, how they want to market. And what is going to appeal to the widest audience. The only place that shit is gonna get real is in a horror movie nowadays.
Right.
Like sometimes when you see a horror movie and it is tamed or declawed, you're like, no, this is not a horror movie. I want to see like whatever your horror movie kink may be.
Right.
But like, I think the reason that horror movies and Blumhouse is sort of tapping into a cultural phenomenon is that these are the popular comedies that were of the 80s kind of thing. If you want to see something edgy and dark, you got to, or even edgy and entertaining that you can find yourself chuckling at because it's terrible in the eyes of others. The only way that you can do that is at a horror movie.
Yeah. No, I
Rant over.
Awesome. It was good. Good one.
All right. Well, Jurassic World Dominion reunites Laura Dern, Jeff Goldblum, and Sam Neill in some new CinemaCon footage.
Yeah, Universal Pictures unlocked the cage on the first new footage from Jurassic World Dominion on Wednesday night in Las Vegas. Presenting at CinemaCon, the annual convention of movie theater owners, the studio offered up a behind-the-scenes look at the returning cast of the original Jurassic Park. Laura Dern as Dr. Ellie Sattler, Sam Neill as Alan Grant, and Jeff Goldblum as Ian Malcolm. It was previously reported that the iconic trio would join franchise stars Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard in the third installment of Colin Trevorrow's run of the films. Undeniably Trevorrow's baby, the footage kicked off with an unseen home movie reel starring the world's
creator and original director.
I'm sorry, I thought it said creature. Creator and original director Steven Spielberg.
He is a creature of talent.
I'm thinking to myself, why is Steven Spielberg a creature? No, he was a creature.
Technically.
The grainy clip showed Spielberg in safari gear on the set of the 1993 film, explaining a film prop to a child actor. The prop, of course, was the cane used by Richard Attenborough, topped with a globe of amber housing a petrified mosquito inside. And the cane was the first building block in engineering dinosaurs for the fictional park. That's cool. So that was cool. They showed that kind of grainy home movie footage for that, and interwoven with the behind the scenes and the trailer, I think, or what they probably not a trailer, but behind the scenes footage. I don't know how you feel about the Jurassic Park movies and Trevorrow's run on these. I actually really like the first one.
Yeah.
The second one, not so much. It was okay. It was okay.
Yeah.
And I am looking forward to this one.
Why?
Well, because I'm hoping that it's more of a, dinosaurs are all over the world just wrecking shop, and that's that's
really?
pretty much what we're gonna get. But I don't think I'm gonna get my wish.
That would be a really cool movie. Like I am sort of checked out of the Jurassic franchise. I don't care about dinosaurs, guys. Sorry.
Yeah.
But I love Jurassic Park. I liked Jurassic World. I think The Lost World is great just because it's an interesting Jeff Goldblum movie.
Right.
But all in all, this I wish they would have released the trailer because I don't know, would this be having Laura Dern, Jeff Goldblum, and Sam Neill? Like, are they going to be together? Is this generation's Star Wars? Where it's on Luke and Leia?
It's interesting. I don't know if they're gonna. Yeah, I mean, obviously they're in the movie, but how they're gonna be used, I don't know.
Well, it is Colin Trevorrow, and he was supposed to make episode 9.
That he was.
And I would assume that based on his history, that he may have learned from some mistakes.
Yeah, I don't think he made it. Yeah, not his mistakes. But yeah, definitely.
Because if he doesn't get these 3 back together on screen at the same time, I'm just going to be like, okay, get out.
Yeah, I was going to say, because we all read or at least heard his script for that final movie, Star Wars movie, which was amazing.
Well, it was better than what we got for sure.
Hell yeah. Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yes, sir.
I always call him Benedict Cumberbatch. I don't know why, but I just do. Gets wicked in the West in eerie Power of the Dog teaser trailer. Now, I don't know if you got a chance to see this, Scotty, this morning.
I did.
This morning. It's very interesting. Yes. And it is a bit eerie. But what struck me was, I'm like, hey, look, it's Doctor Strange from the MCU, MJ from Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy, and young Nightcrawler from the X-Men Apocalypse and X-Men Dark Phoenix, all in the same movie.
Yeah.
In the West.
And then I checked out the trailer. Now, if I may.
Yes.
Jane Campion's first movie in 12 years, widely touted as a potential Oscar contender, sets Cumberbatch and Kirsten Dunst loose for an unsettling ride across the American plains. Benedict Cumberbatch will have you shaking in your cowboy boots in the new teaser trailer for Netflix's upcoming Oscar play, The Power of the Dog. The unsettling video unveils the first official footage from the only movie that filmmaker Jane Campion, writer-director of The Piano, has directed in 12 years. And it appears to be a wicked ride through the American West. And it is so much better than that description. It looks really interesting. There are some It's imagine if you cross There Will Be Blood with Unforgiven,
right?
But
Yeah,
younger.
I was feeling the same way. I'm like, dude, this is like There Will Be Blood and Unforgiven,
and
you really do get that feel from the trailer. So absolutely check it out on YouTube. It's on YouTube right now.
Yeah. Oh, the teaser trailer is there. Actually, I watched it on the Fantasmagorium.com.
Oh, actually, yeah, do that.
See,
that's even better.
Oh, what is next? Oh, no. Next? All right. How the Black Widow battle could break the mold on Hollywood deal making.
So we're almost done talking about this issue because it's in arbitration. We're not going to hear anything other than, it's over. But in the past, a little ambiguity in entertainment contracts wasn't necessarily a bad thing. But Disney's reaction to Scarlett Johansson has lawyers less willing to leave things between the lines. Contrary to what outsiders might expect about Hollywood deal making, not every point in an actor's contract is negotiated to its zenith. A lot of shorthand is used, and the parties accept a great deal of ambiguity, mostly by design. In fact, as one top lawyer put it, anonymously, of course, to avoid his quote ever being used against clients in court, quote, if you're going to ask for something, better be sure y'all get it. Often the smart ones conclude it's in the best interest to not raise the issue. The last thing you wish to create is clarity that you don't have what you wanted, unquote. So yeah, very interesting.
Does that remind you of a quote of somebody that we've been fans of says all the time? You don't get what you deserve. Yes. You get what you negotiate.
Yep. But apparently these things aren't as negotiated out as one might have thought, right?
Well, yes.
So they say take Johansson's situation. In some respects, she may be in a better legal position than other actors, upset at how streaming has interfered with the expectation of back in bonanzas. Although it wasn't highlighted in her suit, her team plans to stress that her Black Widow contract didn't include a standard distribution control provision, which gives studios discretion on how they license a motion picture. Johansson's camp is also emphasizing that in 2019, email from Marvel chief counsel David Gazzulli stated, quote, we totally understand that Scarlett's willingness to do the film and her whole deal is based on the premise that the film would be widely theatrically released like other pictures. We understand that should the plan change, we would need to discuss this with you and come to an understanding, as the deal is based on a series of very large box office bonuses, unquote. That email right there is going to seal the deal for her. That's very damning. And Yay! It's one of the reasons why I said that she's got a very strong case and she would have won in court in a walk. Now that it's an arbitration, I assume that's what they're going to do. The arbitrator is going to say, listen, you guys fucked up. You breached. Let's come to some kind of understanding. What's going to make everything right and good in the world. And then they'll hammer out a deal. She'll get paid and everybody will go on to, their own merry way.
Well, yeah. And also there used to be a stigma about being a movie actor, a movie star, or a television actor. And ostensibly what this has done is been shifting even the talent. They say now it's an IP driven industry as opposed to a movie star driven industry.
Right.
Well, now if television and movies are interchangeable, then you've changed the classism of talent.
Yeah,
whether they like it or not, and not through their own negotiation, but they understood that they were going to be in a movie, but actually they're on a TV. That is a fundamental difference between being a television. Like, if you want to be an actor, do you want to be a television actor or do you want to be a movie star?
Yeah.
Boom. And that has been a thing since television was invented. And now they just said, nah, it's not important. It's like, no shit, you're getting in trouble, Jerry.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah.
Moving on to the next
what's going on with Tandy Newton?
Piece of news on the docket. Tandy Newton speaks out on big mistake of Solo, a Star Wars story, death. Are you effing joking? She says.
I don't think there's a follow-up swear.
No. You don't think there's a what?
A follow-up swear. I don't think that I get to say the F word this time.
Oh yeah, I think maybe.
Maybe? Don't tease. Newton said that in the original Solo script, her character didn't die, but in fact, her death came out during filming. Tandy Newton made history in 2018 as the first Black woman to have a major role in Star Wars movie. Really? That's going to be in history books, eh?
Right.
All right. She appeared in Solo, a Star Wars story. Like, if you look up the first Black man in a major role in the Star Wars saga, like, is there something in the Encyclopedia Britannica that says Billy D. Williams?
Probably.
First Black man in
a Star Wars.
All right.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe. Moving on.
The categorization just upsets me. Anyway, she appeared in Solo, a Star Wars story, as Val, a member of Beckett's, Woody Harrelson's, crew. As seen in the movie, her character dies in an explosion after detonating a bomb that destroys a bridge. But according to the actress in a recent interview with Inverse, her death was not written into the original script. I felt disappointed by Star Wars that my character was killed, she said. And actually, in the script, she wasn't killed. It happened during filming, and it was much more just to do with the time we had to do the scenes. It's much easier just to have me die than it is to have me fall into a vacuum of space so I can come back sometime. Said Newton, who feels killing off her character signaled a missed opportunity for the Star Wars universe. Newton, who stars in the new film Reminiscence and HBO's Westworld, said that Val in the original script actually escapes the explosion with her fate left uncertain.
Interesting. I don't care. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, but I don't care. I don't care that if she would have lived, great. If it stands that she died in the explosion, great. I really don't care either way. Would she come back? I don't know. Maybe.
Would Woody Harrelson's character come back?
Maybe. I mean, it just really depends.
Is Kira coming back?
Kira. I wouldn't mind. I actually wouldn't mind a series, a Disney Plus series with this. But I mean, look, she's an awesome actress. Obviously, they want to keep. She wants to keep playing in the Star Wars world. That doesn't surprise me. Because everybody, most actors do. Not everybody, but most actors would want the chance to continue on. But I don't know. It just seems kind of silly that she's kind of. I don't know if she's complaining about it. She was probably asked about it, and she responded, and everybody's acting like, "Oh, she's running around saying this stuff." But
where's this from? Yeah. IndieWire. All right, it's just weird. Are you effing joking? And it's like, no, that was a tumultuous production where everyone got kind of shuffled around from everything. Don't worry, lady, you weren't the only one who was fired.
Right.
So
I'm just gonna it fit the story. It fit the story for her to die. I mean, it was okay. I don't,
I have no, and this is part of the reason. This is sort of like, this is like that passionless last date that I had with a woman that I loved, and I was just like, you know what, this isn't working. I'm just gonna pay the check and go.
And that's
how I felt about Solo. I walked away from that being like, I will never investigate any of the lore behind any of this.
I actually like this movie. I think it's one of the better movies in the trilogy. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a great movie. It's Solo. One of the absolutely.
Okay.
It's a great space adventure movie. I think it's one of the better movies in the new block of films. Because the two JJ movies suck. Worse than the other.
I like The Force Awakens.
The Force Awakens okay, but it's just kind of beat for beat the original Star Wars movie.
And I love cover songs.
Yeah, it is a cover song, but it's not a good one. And So I do like the movie. I would like to actually hear more from her. I'd love to chance to talk to her about this. But
I'd love to talk to Tandy Newton about her entire career, from The Truth About Charlie to Mission Impossible 2. Like, she's been in and Westworld. Like,
so I'm wondering if this is more about being the first Black woman to have a major role in Star Wars. If it's more, that's what kind of bothered her, other than just taking a role where the character dies. And if that's the case, I'd love to talk to her about that. Because that's interesting. If that's the case, like, oh man, you're doing this. They didn't make a big deal out of it, thank God. I don't like when they do that, but they did. They didn't make a huge deal about, it's the first Black woman major role character in Star Wars. You don't lead with that. But if that's actually the case, where she's like, well, you're fucking kidding me, that makes more sense to me. That maybe that, she was like, oh, you're gonna put a Black woman as the first Black woman in a major role, and then you're gonna kill her off. So I wonder if that's what she's more, talking about than just the fact that her character dies.
Well, the first actors an independent droid in Solo was killed upon introduction. One of the first Sentinel Imperial droids who protected a bunch of rebels. First droid that was an Imperial that protected a bunch of rebels in a Star Wars movie.
Sure.
It's just, and when you're talking about a galaxy far, far away, I just find the race.
It is silly. It is a little silly, but if that's the way she feels about it, I'd love to hear more from her about that. And because it really sounds silly if it's the other way around, because if you're saying the actors take roles where your character dies all the time. So it seems weird that it just seems weird. So I'd like some clarification on that. And
no one wants to play Romeo or Juliet because they don't survive the play.
Right.
Interview with the Vampire. AMC TV series adaptation casts Game of Thrones alum Jacob Anderson as Louis.
Anderson will join the previously cast Sam Reed as Lestat. Just weeks after finding its latest AMC's Interview with the Vampire TV series has cast the vampire's counterpart. Game of Thrones alum Jacob Anderson will be cast as Louis. Oh God, you're gonna have to.
No, I'll do it. I want to do it.
Do it the right way.
Game of Thrones alum Jacob Anderson has been cast as Louis de Pointe du Lac.
Oh man, yeah, I knew you'd do it better than me. The unfortunate 18th century plantation owner who finds himself turned into a creature of the night. With both leads now cast, the show is set to begin production on its 8th episode season later this year, with the premiere slated for AMC and AMC Plus in 2022. Joining Sam Reed as Lestat, the ancient vampire who brings chaos to the
Lion Court. Lestat the Lion Court.
The Lion Court. I totally skipped right over that on purpose. 18th century American South. Anderson rounds out the leading duo for Interview as the young man who quickly realizes that the ravenous lifestyle of drinking human blood is not really for him. While Lestat, the vampire who turned him, seems to revel in the immortal life of being a vampire. Louis suffers, still attached to his human soul and resisting the urge to kill, choosing instead to only drink animal blood, and specifically rats.
Vegan vampire.
Feasting on the rats in the sewers.
Mm-hmm. Are you a fan? Are you a fan of the original Interview with the Vampire with the Tom Cruise and the Brad Pitt?
Love the movie. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah. I think it's really interesting, but one of the things that I really like about that movie is that it traverses time and it shows the immortality. So I hope that this is more of an anthology sort of thing that follows them around time in different adventures after you've sort of, not adventures, but dramas within the Nosferatu.
Me too, because actually what I just read sounds a lot like the movie. I hope we're not rehashing and retreading over that. For 8 episodes. If you want to touch on it a little bit, yay, but if that's all we're doing is getting a longer version of the first movie, I don't know that I'm very interested in that.
Well, and so what do you think they'll do then?
I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, I guess that's what maybe what they're looking to do is a more faithful adaptation of the book.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do remember we talked about this. They're doing this one. I think they're doing all three of the books, right? All three of the interview books not interview books, but they're called what are they called? Kind of having a brain freeze today.
Oh, the Chronicles of Lestat.
Yeah. So
okay.
I think they're actually going to do 3 series. That's what the plan was, anyways. So, and cover each book. I don't know, dude. I don't know that I'm very interested in just like I don't know. I'd have to see, first of all, I have to see it. So I want to see some footage or a trailer or something.
But, like you always say, 3 episodes.
Yeah, I'll give it 3 episodes. But it seems like it's, I don't know.
All right.
Right? It seems like it's just retreading what we've already seen. I don't know.
Yeah. No,
I don't know if I want
you don't have to put it into words. You made the sound perfectly.
Anyways, all right.
Speaking of Nosferatu,
our last item today, and this is exciting for me because I'm a huge Eggers fan. Robert Eggers' Nosferatu remake is a go with Anna Taylor-Joy on board.
She'll play the ripe-necked victim of Orlok the Vampire in the new take on F.W. Murnau's Gothic classic. This morning, the Los Angeles Times ran a new profile of rising star Anya Taylor-Joy. Okay. When was this article?
This morning.
Yeah, but do you consider her to be a rising star?
Yeah, I think so. The problem is,
didn't she win a Golden Globe or an Emmy or whatever?
Yeah, but I think she's still considered that because we know her work, but yeah. I think for general readers and audience are still discovering Anna Taylor-Joy. I mean, her work goes back years.
Yes,
but you would have to be watching a certain kind of cinema.
Did you guys not see Split? What's going on?
Right now, let's go.
So anyway, the Los Angeles Times ran a new profile on rising star Anya Taylor-Joy, who's currently on the sort of hot streak most young actors can only fantasize about. She'll soon appear in George Miller's Mad Max Fury Road prequel as a young Imperator Furiosa, and has just wrapped shooting Viking epic The Northman in Iceland.
That was good too.
I just had to. I thought of Terje. The buried lead. I know he's not from Iceland, but whatever. Nordic Vikings. The buried lead in the article concerns one of these gestating projects, long rumored but now only confirmed as happening. In their 3rd film together, Taylor-Joy will reunite with director Robert Eggers for a remake of Nosferatu, another old-fashioned horror yarn, building on their joint breakout success with 2015's The Vivitch. Presumably, she'll portray Ellen Hutter, ripe-necked wife of the estate agent sent to handle contract negotiations with the vampire Count Orlok. In F.W. Murnau's early century old horror classic, she ultimately proves to be the ghoul's undoing when he's lured into the obliterating morning light by the temptation of her sleeping body.
Yeah.
Never seen it.
Never seen the original Nosferatu?
No.
Yeah, it's interesting silent film.
Shadow of the Vampire. The with Willem Dafoe and John Malkovich. Really enjoyed that.
That's a good one.
Yes. It's got to be free on YouTube, Nosferatu, isn't it?
Yeah, I would just assume so. YouTube or somewhere you can find it.
So if the Richard is here, please admonish me for being just a try-hard poser.
So it said 3 movies. This would be her her 3rd movie. I know she's in The Witch. Was she in The Lighthouse? I don't remember. No, she wasn't in The Lighthouse, right? What other movie?
Anya Taylor-Joy?
Yeah.
Well, she was in the Queen's Gambit.
No. And Robert Eggers. It said third outing, the third time working together.
Yeah.
But what other movie? What other Robert Eggers movie?
Why don't you go over to the chat and I'll go answer that question, or maybe the chat.
I'm looking right now. I mean, he doesn't have that many movies. The Witch, The Lighthouse, Woodland Dark, and Days Bewitched: A History of Folk Humor, folk horror. I mean, yeah, The Lighthouse, The Witch. I don't know, man. I don't know. So unless she was, I don't remember her being in The Lighthouse. But yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, or if you know, or if you can look it up real quick. Anyways, let's go over to the chat and see what's going on.
Yes, let's.
Oh, I want to. Before we do that, I do want to. We forgot to. I mean, didn't forget. We ran out of time.
What happened
on the show on the other show?
Oh yes,
on Cult Classic Movie Corner, and we wanted to just recognize for sending in a $4.99 super chat. Thank you very much. Says, hey gents, thanks for that. We really appreciate the support.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thanks. I saw you in the chat, and it was good to see you there.
All right, let's go see what everybody's talking about today, shall we?
Yes, let's. Todd Michael says the Fantasmagorium show and its subsidiaries do condone the ringing of Steve and Scotty's little bell.
Little.
No. Wait. I want to do it differently. Let's take that back. I'm going to do it like Worf from First Con. Little. Yeah. No, I'm not asking. Tough little ship. Tough little bell. Turge says, reach deep into your pockets and support the Howard the Duck.
Yeah.
And that is Ernie Trinidad's Indiegogo and documentary feature that he's making. If you want to check it out, you should absolutely go and see Cult Cinema Movie Corner with Turge and Steve and Ernie Trinidad. It was amazing. It's all about Howard the Duck. It's great. It covers a lot. They cover a lot of stuff, but the movie, I can't wait to see it. Squirt Russell. I once had a close encounter with Howard. Thank God he was a waterfowl. Or he is a waterfowl. Well, he's foul. Squirt Russell, not on command. Well, no. Squirt.
Not on command.
Squirt? Terche says, all this talk of pushing and pulling and
get your mind out the gutter.
Terje says the old guard was actually pretty entertaining.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah. Well, and if it's on Netflix, I have no excuse. The Richard, aloha everyone. Love Ethan Hawke. I am also taken. Todd Michael says, do the kids know what a shellacking is? Asking for a friend.
Ooh, I don't know. Hopefully they'll look it up.
Terje says no. That term defeats me. A shellacking.
A shellacking.
I don't know the etymology of that idiom, but I know it's bad.
Yeah.
Terje says Ethan Hot is pretty hot, even for a straight guy. Yeah. Ethan Hot. I don't even know why I tripped all over it. It's not Ethan Hunk. Terje says Blumhouse is a barrel-aged Corman. Yeah. Well, and the business model, the Richard says Blumhouse are tops in the game. Yeah. And like providing what their audiences want. And I think it's an edgy, like it's not even edgy. Like you were talking about because of Phil Tippett on Howard the Duck, you were talking about Mad God.
Yeah.
And that's edgy. They had to tone down the beasts from Howard the Duck because they were too disturbing. Yeah. But that's also part of the problem of Howard the Duck is that it's tied between being a violent sex comedy about aliens from another planet, and it's also about a short duck that looks like something you would see at Disney World.
Right.
So no one knew what to. Love that movie. Darius Munchausen, hail and ahoy!
Hail!
It's good to see you, Darius. The Richard says Freddy versus Jason got fingered.
Okay. But I'm pumping on that crap.
Terje says, hails to Darius. Great to see some fellow Fantasmagoons in the chat.
Oh boy,
Phantasmagorium.
I don't like them. No, not goons, right?
Phantasmagoriumites.
Yeah, that's better.
It sounds Italian. I don't know. I'm racist. I mean that in terms of my stereotypical Italian accent, not as a general statement about my being. The Richard says The Power of the Dog official teaser, and he has a Netflix link in the chat. The Richard says check out all the amazing new sections and activity here at the Phantasmagorium Show main site.
Yeah,
and
please
there
do.
is a link in the chat, and yeah, give it a look see, because a lot of the trailers that we've there are a lot of trailers on there, and we've been sort of hanging out and talking to studios and trying to get permissions to be able to showcase some of this stuff for you guys. We have a couple of things coming up in terms of reviews that we'll be able to have, and hopefully everything goes according to plan. A terrifying documentary about the fear of heights and a dude who overcomes it.
Yeah.
And
next week, a review for that will be out next week.
Yeah.
Also for Yakuza Princess.
Yeah. And really looking forward to hopefully being able to talk to the people who made that.
Yeah.
The
Alpinist.
Can I say it? Can I say it?
Yeah.
The Alpinist.
Yeah. The Alpinist. Which is good. I'm just over halfway through our screeners on that, and so we're gonna do. We'll have a review up. We're embargoed till next week, but we'll have a review up Monday or Tuesday of next week on the Alpinist. Hopefully on Tuesday of next week we'll get a chance to talk with the filmmakers for that, either live or record the segment, and then also on Monday or Tuesday we should have our review of the Yakuza Princess out too, which looks awesome, by the way. Can't wait to watch it.
Yeah, really looking forward, but it's just kind of fun. And so we do have some things coming up, and we're really looking forward to that. Steve, you've been doing a whole lot of work. Go check out the PGS All-Stars. The Masters of the Universe story continues with Richard and Bunyan Snipe. And
that's right. Yeah.
Terje says, poor Newton. I also heard Greedo is upset. I don't know. Oh, Tandy.
Yeah.
My first computer was a Tandy.
Oh, I had a Tandy.
And the Richard says, don't forget the Post-Geek Singularity All-Stars 006. What We Love About Masters of the Universe Part 6. Yeah, absolutely. Dude, I didn't forget. Terje says, I never drink blood. Yeah. Sure you do. You've been to a metal concert.
So Richard, I think, corrects himself and says at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, 2:30. Which is in a few minutes here.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the Richard says Near Dark is my favorite film of all time. I do live classical films based on books.
Love, I think.
Possibly. Yeah. The Richard says I am all on this Nosferatu remake. My favorite creature. I know you love Nosferatu.
Yeah. And boy, you couldn't ask for a better, more creepy kind of filmmaker, right? Not creepy as a person, but creepy as in what eerie, creepy tones and sets that Eggers films are. He's a brilliant filmmaker, in my opinion, and I love his movies.
Does it offend you when I call it the Vivitch?
No.
Okay.
I don't care. It's two V's.
It's a double V.
Yeah.
Terje says Nosferatu was due a remake. I'm actually excited about that one.
Me too.
And Anna Taylor-Joy, I'm in.
Oh, yeah.
The Richard says Shadow of the... Oh, come on. Reel it in, pal.
What? Oh, well, you can do it, but I can't. Okay, I see how the game is played. Thank you very much.
Well, come on.
I'll be here all week. Tip your waitresses.
One of us has to be good cop. One of us has to be bad cop. We just flop indiscriminately. It's not that we have to be consistent. Anyway, the Richard says Shadow of the Vampire is my second favorite film of all time. Dude, and so that's why I kind of feel remiss, even knowing you, the Richard, like the fact that I haven't seen Nosferatu, that was a revealing. I was oversharing, and I was afraid you were going to find out. Terje says Iceland had fermented shark meat. Don't go there. Stay at home. Oh man. Well, no, but if you have the absolute brass cojones to go and ferment a shark? Of course you're going to eat it. Of course. No, that sounds like a Viking's duty.
Go to Iceland, hang out with Bjork.
Sure. They've got good jazz.
Yeah.
Terje says she played the part of the light bulb in The Lighthouse.
Tip your waitresses. We'll be here all week. All right. Todd Michael says, Phantasmagoriacs.
Ooh, Phantasmagoriacs. I do like Phantasmagoriacs.
That's not bad. That's probably the one. We'll see if that one sticks.
Yeah, I'll find a crayon. The Richard says, yes, we can watch Party Nos and others. Never feel bad. We can catch up with as many cult films as we move forward. Well, and also it was interesting listening to Ernie Trinidad today when he was talking, and he didn't really consider Howard the Duck to be like a guilty pleasure. He didn't think it was a cult movie because whenever but also he was exposed to people who had talked about it, and no one really had an unkind word. The only thing that they would say, oh, I know it sucks, but I like that movie.
Yeah.
And so it's really interesting. Although I did, on my wall of whatever this is, I did have a Howard the Duck picture up at one point that I just printed on a new color printer to test my printer. And someone sent me a message and said, I can't believe you have Howard the Duck up on your wall. That is a misogynist film that was put down things, and they were really angry about it, and they thought it was an offensive film from the 1980s.
Misogynist in what way?
I don't know. Maybe because there's like a sex spa or something, and then also I don't even know.
Yeah, that's weird.
When someone gets angry
weird.
about a cartoon duck, then I'm just like, okay. Then I'll put up my Captain America shield and Agent Carter, and we'll call it square.
Right.
And she was like, "Yay!"
Sorry to trigger you.
Sorry.
Whatever. Yeah, from an '80s movie. Whatever.
I can almost hear myself being unfriended.
Next, yeah, right. Next week, it will be Rocky Horror Picture Show. So it would be awesome if Todd Michael could find a way to be on that show. I don't think he's available at that time, but that would be really cool. I know he's a big fan, and went to all the midnight shows and stuff. I have been to a midnight show, I think once or twice, maybe twice, in my early 20s, but it's been a long, long time since I was in my early 20s.
I used to work at a place, and there was a cinema. It was a cinema, a bookstore, a cafe, and a nightclub.
Wow.
And we always, because if you worked there, you'd get to go and see movies for free.
Sure.
And sometimes they do nighttime shows just for the staff. And we watched like Shaun of the Dead and Monty Python and the Holy Grail. And so after I had been working there and at this point, it would have been like 4, 5, 6 months. And I was like, so are we going to watch Rocky Horror Picture Show? And the cinema manager was like, I will never, ever show that movie in my cinema. I don't want to have to clean up after it. I don't want to have to deal with the people in costumes. And I was like, oh, come on, No Funswick. Let's go.
No Funswick. Yeah, right.
But, there are going to be people in bustiers.
Yeah.
It gets sexy.
Todd
Michael says, still trying to find pics of me in makeup from 1990 when you were Rocky, if I remember correctly, Todd Michael. In a way, thank the gods that digital cameras did not exist back then. Most of us would be in jail now.
That's right.
Yeah, but what great photos. You have to explain to your photomat.
Right.
Terje says to Todd Michael.
They always looked.
Oh, yeah. Terje says to Todd Michael, there are many pictures I am glad not to find. Absolutely. Sometimes documentation is not necessary.
Oh, he played Eddie.
Eddie. Sorry. Yeah. My mistake. Maybe I was... I just thought it was a really good costume. That's all. You could pull off a Rocky back in the day. You said it was 99, right? You could be a 6-foot blonde.
All right, dude. I think unless you have anything else, dude.
No, I think I've done enough.
Yeah, I think so too. Oh, okay. Well, that was it was a fun show. So we'll keep it tight to an hour.
It's been a big day. It's been a big day.
Getting a little tongue-tied. So
let's all go to the lobby, get ourselves a snack, and
yes,
and then get the heck out of here. Do you want to close out with it?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right.
But I just want to plug the show for tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow for Friday Free for All.
And we're still talking about Terminator, right?
We are talking about Terminator. I've
got my friend Chris coming to play.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll talk off air and figure out what we want to do about that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if you want to talk Terminator with us, you're more than welcome to be on the show. Get a hold of us and we'll give you the links to pop on. Hopefully we'll have a raucous, fun, rollicking good time.
Sunday is the 34th anniversary of Judgment Day. We got to talk about it.
We will for sure. It'll be a fun one. Always is. The Friday shows are really fun.
Yeah,
we get everybody together and just talk about movies and movie news and all the things that we love. Mm-hmm. So be sure to join us again tomorrow at we'll be on at the regular time, 1:00. We had to go a half hour late because Terje, we had a good guest on Terje's Cult Classic Movie Corner, Eddie Trinidad, and it was fun. It was fun talking to him and kind of getting his not only his view on the movie Howard the Duck, but his the back kind of what inspired him to do the doc, Howard the Doc. So yeah, awesome, good times.
Buckaroo Banzai.
Yeah, Buckaroo Banzai. And then next week, we'll be back Monday through Friday with this show. Monday nights catch Set to Stun. Wednesday nights catch Martini's Gadgets and Guns, and Thursdays Cult Classic Movie Corner. Until then, for Scotty R37, I'm Steve Foley. Have a great day, everybody, and buy my book.